Welcome back to a new video. So today I'm doing a long overdue autism reviews video. I have about like 4 of these lined up for different things I want to review and I just haven't gotten around to it. I literally have like a whole pile of boxes back here of products and things that I've like got over the last like several months. I just haven't gotten around to reviewing them yet, but I've kept the boxes because I need to remember, you know, what the actual product is called. For today's review though, we are going to be reviewing a pair of noise cancelling headphones. So I am obviously going to be reviewing this specific pair of noise cancelling headphones. I don't have any others to compare it to. I'm sure you can find reviews online of other ones and compare to them yourself. I may find some and leave the links down below. But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing this pair today, which are the A3s's. I believe it says 3, I'm actually not sure. But it's these ones. And I believe that is a 3, A3s, but it's in a weird font, so you don't quote me on that. I will leave the link to these headphones down below though, so you can go and check them out yourself. In case you're new here, before we get into anything, I am autistic and I also have a lot of other things that are wrong with me that aren't particularly relevant right now, but the main one is that I am autistic and have a lot of sensory issues, which is why I need noise cancelling headphones. These autism reviews videos are obviously aimed at other people with autism and anyone who might be buying for someone with autism and therefore needs an autistic opinion. But of course, if you're just looking for noise cancelling headphones and you're not autistic, then you can also take my opinion into account if you want. So, as someone with autism and quite a lot of other problems, noise cancelling headphones have been something I've always really wanted, but they're actually really difficult to find. Because first of all, the large majority of high quality headphones are really expensive. You know, most of them are upwards of £200. You know, if you want a really good pair, you're looking at like 400 quid, which is truly ridiculous for a pair of headphones. You will be happy to know that these ones were not 400 quid. So these headphones came in this box, and in the box came the actual headphones, and it also came with a wire. This was really important to me because while these are wireless headphones, they are Bluetooth, they work completely wirelessly, it's really important to me to have a backup of a wire. Having a wire is super important because, you know, in the off chance that for whatever reason they do fail and the Bluetooth doesn't work, I have a backup and I can still use them. So those are the headphones we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to put them down now so that we can actually talk about them. So I have been trying to find a good pair of noise cancelling headphones for years, but it's really difficult to find a decent pair that fits all the criteria. So the things I wanted out of noise cancelling headphones were obviously that they successfully did noise cancelling, the audio quality should be at least, you know, standard, and also that they can't be made out of foam or anything, because then it'd be scratchy, so it's got to have the leather coverall, which most of them do these days, but I know that some of them, like my mum's got some headphones and they're fabric, which I don't like, as well as the fact that I needed the wire as a backup. I did want wireless headphones because, let's be honest, wires are annoying, but at the same time I did want to make sure that I had the wire as a backup so that, you know, if I was in a situation where the Bluetooth stopped working or, you know, whatever, I had the wire as a backup so that I could still use them and I wasn't left stranded without any headphones. So those were the criteria, but actually finding ones that fit those and also fit me was really difficult because, let's be honest, a lot of headphones and a lot of everything are made for middle-aged white men and I am not a middle-aged white man, and so therefore a lot of headphones just don't fit me. I have relatively small ears but I also have a big head. Like, I've got a really big ass head but also my ears are very small compared to my head, so a lot of headphones, they'll fit over my head but they absolutely swamp my ears. They're like this big. But so I've got like kid-size ears on a massive head basically, and so kids' headphones don't work because my head's too big, but then adult headphones also generally don't work because my ears are too small. And of course I wanted to make sure that they weren't going to be too tight and therefore give me a headache, or rather make my always existing headache worse. So now that you know what my kind of conditions were before buying the headphones, let's talk about how they actually perform. The first thing to note was that they weren't particularly expensive. They were about 40 quid, which for a pair of noise cancelling headphones is really good because most of them are upwards of £200. You know, if you want to get a really good pair, you're looking at 400 quid, which is ludicrous, honestly completely ludicrous. I could buy 2 weighted blankets for that. Like, absolutely not. If you want to watch the Autism reviews of Weighted Blanket, you can go and watch that one. So yeah, I was not about to spend 400 quid on a pair of headphones. Let me tell you that. That being said, trying to find a pair of good quality noise cancelling headphones that aren't over 200 quid is pretty difficult, but I managed it. You know, I mean, they still weren't like a tenner, but they you know, they were pretty cheap considering what the competition is. So after the huge discount in price, the first and most obvious thing I checked was, do they actually fit? Yes, they do. It's very weird talking with noise cancelling headphones on though, because it's like you can feel your voice vibrating in your mouth, but you can't actually hear yourself, which is a bit weird. So they do fit, which is great. And they are also adjustable. I have it on the smallest setting, which is surprising given that I do have a very big head. But again, they're probably made for men, let's be honest here, which is probably why. The, like, what do you call these bits? The cups. Even though the actual main bit is fairly big, the inside bit isn't, which means it fits my smaller ears. So yeah, I'd say, like, size-wise, they're not small, but they're also not huge like a lot of them are. So it's like, it's somewhere in between. If you have a particularly small head, you will probably find that these are a bit big, because as I said, I do have a very big head, and I mean, you know, that's the smallest setting and they fit perfectly. So yeah, if you have a small head, or if you're like a child, then they probably won't fit and you'll probably have to look for something else. However, if you are, you know, an adult, fully grown, you've got a fairly regular sized head, then they should fit fine. Unless you have maybe massive ears or something, then the cups might be a bit small, but you know, barring any, you know, irregular sized heads or anything, they should fit most people. The next thing on my list to test out was whether or not they gave me a headache. There was really no way to test this other than just to wear them for a while and see if I got a headache from it. And thankfully they don't. If I wear them for more than like 2 or 3 hours, then I start feeling a little bit pressured. But really, I've only worn them for more than 2 or 3 hours, like a couple of times. Like, I don't wear them for that long, that often. So I don't think it's a problem, which is honestly truly amazing because I am someone who suffers with chronic headaches and also migraines. And so having no pressure on my head is really important, which is part of the reason why I shaved my head, because now I don't have a ponytail, you know, causing pressure. So yeah, the fact that they don't give me a headache, or at least make my existing headache significantly worse, is very impressive. So now let's talk about the battery life. Battery life is something I was very worried about when buying it. Generally, I don't like Bluetooth things. I like things that have a wire, because although wires are very annoying and they get tangled up and they cause sensory issues, it's also like a safety net, because, you know, like your earphones that have cables are never going to not work. You know, they're not going to work just because the Bluetooth doesn't work or they've run out of battery, because it's a cable. You know, you plug it in and it works, end of. And although Bluetooth is so much more convenient in terms of you haven't got wires tangling up, you don't have to carry your phone around, you know, you can leave it on the other side of the room or whatever, it also takes away that safety net of, you know, there could be a situation where if I forget to charge them, then that's it, I'm left stranded without headphones. And, you know, my non-neurotypical friends, you will know that that is a problem. I don't even leave my bedroom without my headphones, you know, even if I'm just gonna go to the toilet, and obviously we all bring our phone to the toilet, I bring my headphones. Like, you know, I do not leave my bedroom without headphones, just in case. You know, being able to block out noise, listen to music and zone out is so important. It truly is essential. That the idea that, you know, just something as silly as the battery could fail, you know, it terrifies me. So yeah, Bluetooth is something I have a complicated relationship with, which is why the fact that it came with a wire was very important, because it made me feel better about the fact that I was using Bluetooth. And I bring this everywhere. Whenever I bring my headphones, I mean, I don't bring this to the toilet with me, but if I leave the house, then I bring my headphones and I bring my wire just in case. I have not yet used it, like I literally haven't even uncoiled it because I've never needed to use it, but I always have it and I always know it's there. In terms of how long the battery has actually lasted though, I am incredibly impressed. I obviously don't leave my headphones on all the time. You turn them on and off. So if you turn them on, yeah, and then obviously you turn it off. And so if I left them on and it lasted for about 20 hours, which is what it says in the box. So that's very accurate, and it did last. But of course I don't leave mine on 24/7. So I probably use them, on average I'd say I use them for about 15 hours a week. But given the fact that we are in a global pandemic right now, I'm not exactly leaving the house very often. So if we weren't in a global pandemic, it would probably be more like 30 hours a week. But because we are, I don't leave the house, and therefore there is slightly less need for them. But I've had these for probably like 6 months at this point, and I think I've charged them twice, which is really good. So yeah, the battery life has indeed held up, and yeah, I'm very impressed with the battery life, and I have not had to use the cable. I have also never had a problem with the headphones disconnecting or anything while I'm listening to music. I've never had a problem connecting them to my phone or to any other device. I've connected them to my laptop, to my computer, to my iPad, my other phone that I use for filming. So like, I've connected them to everything and it works straight away. They never disconnect until I tell them to. So they are very reliable in that sense. But I'm sure you also want to know how the audio quality is, and I mean, this is very much a matter of opinion, and I think it depends what your background is. I have been spoilt slightly. I have a lot of tech. I mean, quite literally, I'm sat here. I've got my phone there, a camera, my PC, my other phone that I film on, my laptop, my iPad. Like, I'm surrounded by tech, okay? Like, I've lived a very spoilt life and I know that. And so therefore my opinion is maybe slightly skewed. So if you haven't got that tech, then probably the sound quality, you're going to be used to like slightly less high quality audio, whereas generally everything I own is fairly high quality. And so I think it really depends what your background is there. And obviously if you were working on like a movie, then they do not produce movie quality sound. I'm going to put that out there now. If you were editing the new Thor movie, you'd not be using these headphones. That's for sure. However, as sound quality goes, I think they're pretty good. This is mostly a matter of opinion. I'm not sure my dad would agree with me. He works in IT, so he's very techie, and I don't think he'd agree that they're quite high quality, but I think they're perfectly fine. I think they're good. They're good enough that when I just listen to music through my phone out loud, that music sounds a bit tinny, but then when I put my headphones on, I'm like, oh yeah, this is good quality sound. That's kind of the situation. So like I said, I think sound quality is a little bit subjective, but as sound quality goes, I think they're pretty good. I'd give sound quality like 3.75 out of 5 stars. It could be better, but also as standard audio quality goes, it's still pretty good, So the noise cancelling is of course an essential part of the noise cancelling headphones, so let's talk about that. There is a separate button on the headphones for noise cancelling, so you've got the on off button on this side, and then you've got the noise cancelling button on this side, so you can wear them as not noise cancelling headphones if you want. And what I think is cool is that, I mean, I don't know if all noise cancelling headphones do this, because this is my first ever pair of noise cancelling headphones, so I don't know. But you can turn the noise cancelling on, so you can have them on with the noise cancelling and just not play any music. and the noise cancelling works without the music. Obviously it's more effective with the music because, you know, you can then just hear the music and you truly cannot hear a single thing outside the music. But it does significantly muffle the outside world if you put the noise cancelling on even without music, which I think is pretty good. I've gone through quite a lot of headphones and earphones in my life trying to kind of find the ones that work for me. And a lot of the earphones I used kind of in my early secondary school years, they were like you really push them in your ear, you know, the like squishy rubber one. I'll put a photo up on screen. And they cancelled out quite a lot of noise purely because you were essentially blocking your ear canal. But they weren't noise cancelling per se. However, my god, you can't hear a single thing with these on. I mean, again, it is slightly subjective because it depends where you are and how loud you have the music. So, you know, if you're in the middle of a really loud shopping centre and you haven't got any music on, then they're obviously not going to be as effective if you're sitting in your silent bedroom with the volume on 10. You know. So it is a little bit subjective. I have worn them to the city centre a few times. It's obviously not open right now, but it did temporarily open back up just before Christmas, and I did wear them there a few times, and I had the volume on like 4, and I wasn't even listening to like, you know, emo music or anything. I was just listening to like some standard music, so it wasn't like especially loud music. And the volume was pretty normal and I still couldn't hear a thing. Which, you know, in the middle of, I live somewhere with a very big shopping centre. We have one of the biggest shopping centres in the UK, if not the biggest. So yeah, we have a big shopping centre. It's always very busy and always very, very loud. But not when you have these on. So clearly I've said quite a lot of positive things so far. However, there are a few less than positive things that I did want to mention. So the first one was, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but I will do a close-up for you, is that this cup broke almost immediately. The leather on it it broke on the seal around the edge, which was kind of disappointing. Like, I mean, quite literally I put them on and it did it immediately. However, that being said, it hasn't affected it in any way. I mean, it looks kind of ugly because it's a little bit broken, but it hasn't affected the sound quality. It doesn't cause any sensory issues in terms of it doesn't tickle my ear or anything. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't cause a problem. So although it's annoying that it obviously broke, it doesn't actually, you know, it doesn't really have any consequences. It is, however, something to keep in mind because although it doesn't bother me, I do have very small ears, and I don't have any cartilage in my left ear, and it is the left cup that broke, and so this ear is significantly smaller, which means that it just doesn't really bother me. However, if you have bigger ears or if you're really, really sensitive to that sort of thing, it could bother you. So it's something to keep in mind. That is a problem with, I think, just because they're cheaper. If you bought a pair that was £200 plus, then, you know, you're not going to have that sort of problem. But at the same time, who has 200 to 400 quid lying around for a pair of headphones? I don't. So, you know, it's something to bear in mind, but overall I don't think it detracts from the overall product. So before I give you my overall rating and tell you whether I recommend them or not, let's go over everything I've said so far. So they fit me really well, which is really great and also really rare because I have a big head, small ears, and I am not the standard market that they advertise to. Most headphones are made for adult males, and I am not. So that's good because it means that, you know, if you don't fall into the very narrow adult male category, they should fit you. They're also not overly big and clunky on your head, which is again a problem with some of the higher end ones. They're bigger, and they're made for sort of basically just adult men, usually either gaming or in the movie industry. That is generally what they're made for, which isn't very helpful for us. So yeah, they do fit sort of a wider range of people, which is really great. They do not give me headaches or migraines, and as someone who suffers severely with those, I can absolutely say they should not give you a migraine or a headache. So yeah, that is really great. The batteries last a really long time, and I have had no problems with Bluetooth disconnecting when I don't want it to, and so you can be assured that they are very reliable. They will work when you need them to, and of course you have the fallback of the cable if you really need it, or if you just want a cable. The noise cancelling works, which is great. It works with both music on and off, and it successfully blocks out really any noise. I have not yet found a noise it doesn't block out. We've had fireworks, there is a building site less than 10 meters from my window. It blocks out all of that. It blocks out a busy shopping centre, one of the busiest shopping centres in the UK. So yeah, they have been thoroughly tested, and I assure you they cancel out noise. The sound quality has some room for improvement. You know, they are not industry standard headphones. However, for someone who is not using them for industry standard things and is just using them at home for their own purpose, they are perfectly good quality. You know, I don't have anything bad to say about the audio quality, but I just don't have anything absolutely amazing to say about it at the same time. So it's not a negative, it's just also not a super positive, if you get what I'm saying. And lastly, they do not cause me any sensory issues. The cups are a nice soft leather, and so they're not scratchy fabric or foam or anything, and so that does not cause me any problems. So yeah, that is really everything I have to say about the A3s's noise cancelling headphones. I am very impressed with them. Like I said, they are not necessarily industry standard. However, considering the fact that they were only like 30 quid, which is such a huge discount compared to all of the other ones in the market, they're really good for the price I bought them for. They are really good. I think if you want to get better than those, you really are looking at 200 plus at least. You know, the ones that are really kind of industry standard are 400 plus, which is completely ridiculous if you ask me, just for a pair of headphones. And honestly, those ones I also, the reason I haven't bought those ones before is that obviously pre-pandemic we went to places like John Lewis and we tried them on, and they're huge. They fall straight off my head because they're made for men, essentially. So considering they are very much in the cheaper bracket range, they are probably top of the line quality for that price range, I would say. Obviously I haven't tried a whole load of other ones, but from what I found when I was looking at them, and trust me, I looked for a long time, the other headphones that are in that similar price bracket, they're mostly kids ones or just really crappy ones. So considering how cheap they were, they are really excellent. So would I recommend them? Absolutely I would. I would give them a 4 out of 5 star rating, which again, I feel this is very opinionated because if I were, you know, if I was working in the movie industry or something, they'd probably be more like 2 or 3 stars. However, I do not work in the movie industry. I am a regular standard person who just uses them for regular standard things, and for that they are perfectly fine. I only took a point off because the cup did immediately break. It hasn't caused me any issues, however, it could cause someone else issues. So keep that in mind when you're buying. If you think it could cause you or whoever you're buying them for issues, then keep it in mind that they do break a little easier. You know, if you're buying them for a child, don't because they, you know, they will break a little easier. But on the other hand, they are a cheaper alternative, and do you really want to be spending 400 quid on a pair of headphones for a 5-year-old? Probably not. So yeah, I think that is going to be, that's a personal judgment thing. You have to decide whether or not that will be a problem for you. Yeah, so I took a star for that, but other than that, I don't see anything wrong with them. I'm sure my dad would disagree on the sound quality, but I think it's perfectly good sound quality. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, it doesn't blow me away, but it's perfectly good sound. So yeah, that is my review of the A3s noise cancelling headphones. They work amazingly for me. I bring them everywhere, even to the toilet. So yeah, I use them every single day, and they really have changed my life, which sounds so dramatic, but they have. I can now go shopping, not that I do that at the moment because, you know, the pandemic, but when it's eventually over, I'll be able to go shopping in bliss because I won't be able to hear anyone anymore. which is what we all want, right? And you know, while we've all been locked in our houses and there's a building site 10 meters from my window, it's helped me drown out all the drilling and the sawing and the banging and God knows what else they're doing over there. So yeah, they have been really useful. I use them every single day. They've held up very well and I absolutely would recommend them. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you found this review helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Like I said at the beginning, I have quite a lot of other things I want to review that have been piling up for months now, so I will hopefully get around to them in the next couple of weeks, as long as the builders let me film, because they're being very loud at the moment. And yeah, like this video if you enjoyed it, or if you found it helpful. Let me know if you find these things helpful. If there's anything else you want to know, or if you want me to include in my reviews from now on, then also let me know and I can absolutely do that. I will answer any questions you have down below. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more. I do weekly vlogs. There will be lots more autism reviews coming, as well as lots of other videos. My hair video went out last week, so I told you why I shaved my head. I have a room tour coming at some point, not sure when because it's taking a long time to film, but it will be coming at some point. So yeah, there's lots of content, so subscribe if you don't want to miss that, and I will see you in the next video.